Would you say that Menasseh's works, his scholarly works, are part of what one would consider traditional rabbinic literature? Um, I searched to see if there are responsa back and forth, and I didn't really find anything. Where does he fit in traditional rabbinic literature of that period?
Not very well at all. In fact, he seems to have been mostly ignored by Jewish scholars and Jewish theologians. His works are not, I mean, they're interesting and, well, they're fascinating from a Jewish perspective because of the way in which he brings rabbinic commentary to bear on classic texts, on biblical texts, Talmudic texts, Mishnaic texts, and so on. At the same time, they're a mishmash because he also brings Plato and Aristotle and Christian medieval philosophers all to bear. So, for example, in his, perhaps his most important work, the Concilia Dor, which is a 4-volume work which he composed over decades, in which he tries to reconcile all the inconsistencies in the Hebrew Bible. This is a great work of scholarship, but it's not really a major rabbinic text in the way in which we think it's informed by the way in which we think rabbinic, latter-day rabbinic texts need to be informed by a deep understanding of the entire rabbinic tradition. It seems like he's just cutting and pasting together both rabbinic commentaries, but also philosophical commentaries and Gentile commentaries, pagan commentary, pagan texts, and so on. And Menasseh, as a rabbi, as a rabbinic author, I don't think had much of a major impact. And so none of his texts really count as authoritative rabbinic commentaries. The one work, for example, on resurrection, it doesn't represent part of the rabbinic canon on that topic. Rabbi Mortera's sermons, by contrast, which were collected by his students, these are important texts for understanding early modern rabbinics, and especially in Amsterdam. I wouldn't say the same is true of Menasseh's text.